A local singer who was classically trained in Europe is set to launch her new CD on July the 15th. It features several songs that have been #1 on the smooth jazz charts in her native Russia for several months.
A shadow on the wall, a sunny night, they're out of focus, they're out of sight.
Olga Osipova grew up in St. Petersburg, Russia, where she was classically trained in piano.
It was very formal. It was all classical. There was no jazz there. When I was growing up, especially I think amongst classical musicians, jazz is not a very popular style.
When she moved to Germany, Olga's love affair with jazz began, studying and playing across Europe. She began writing her own songs, which got her some attention.
I was just trying it out, and I submitted my song to a competition, VH1 Song of the Year, and I became finalist. So I thought, oh wow, it must be not that bad. So then finally, a couple years later, I had enough material that was worthy to make a CD. When you were reading Paul.
Now a resident of the Okanagan, Olga has just wrapped up recording her first CD, working with some top local talent.
I kind of heard it in my head like that, but I just didn't really know how to translate it. And then the musicians that I worked with were great. They helped me a lot. Scott Gamble, who was doing drums, so a lot of good advice, and Bernie Addington especially. He has a lot of experience, so the guys really made it sound like jazz.
7 days on the road, speak I was.
It's certainly jazz, but it has kind of a vintage feel to it, and it's swingy, and there is also a European influence as well, because that's who I am and that's what I write.
I'm all in pieces.
To test reaction to her music, Olga posted songs to the biggest music website in Russia, with some exciting results.
And I didn't tell any of my friends, I didn't tell any of my relatives that my music is on there, because I wanted it to be pure market research without any friends' opinions, who of course love me and so on. And then within a week, people started downloading it. And then it just jumped up in the charts because the number of downloads was so high. So I was #1 for 2.5 months, which was kind of cool.
The air is cool.
The official release of Olga Osipova's new CD, Velvet and Lace, takes place at the Rotary Center for the Arts Tuesday, July 15th.